Hey everyone, it's Steve from the garden. And now that the weather's warming up, it's time for me to get all my summer crops into the ground. So I'm going to take you along as I go through and do all that. This will take a couple days to get it all in. If you're wondering what these are peppers I overwintered. I have a cayenne and a jalapeno. You need a couple more days to harden off. So let's go ahead and get started with getting everything else in. This is the first bed for the warm season crops, and what I'm putting in here is I'm putting in my cayennes, basil, and jalapeno peppers. And on the back side, which faces north, I'm going to put in my tomatoes. So I got San Marzano and Summer Pick. Be 5 of each of those. So let me get started getting these in. Now as I plant these peppers, and I'm going to take just a little sprinkling of bone meal and put that in the hole. You see these peppers are already starting to flower, so it won't be too long before I got the peppers coming in. I have 2 peppers I overwintered from last year. One's a cayenne and one's a jalapeno. Both go in the center. I still have to harden those off, so it'll be a couple days, so they may or may not make this video, but they'll be in here. This bed's totally planted out now, except for the cayenne and the jalapeno I overwintered. They're still going to harden off for a couple more days before I put them in. I got my peppers, and these tomatoes on the floor to leave are Summer Pick. The ones in the back are the San Marzano. I'll single stem them right up the little conduits. The only other thing I probably will end up doing here is maybe putting some wood chip mulch to help retain moisture. In this bed, I'm going to be planting my sweet peppers, but before I can do that, I need to harvest this lettuce, because this is where I'm going to be putting sweet peppers. I also took off the inner layer of the plastic that's on the hoop house here. You can kind of see it off to the left here in the background. I have the plastic drying off right now. And all I'm going to do is, I got my sharp knife, and I just cut these right just above the surface. And put them in my tub here, and I'll come back and I will cut what remains of the stem just below the surface of the dirt, and I will leave those in to become organic matter for the bed. Now, I have so much lettuce here that I might have to fill this bed up twice. And as far as lettuces goes, this lettuce will last us easily 2 weeks, no problem, if it keeps that long. And I gave away a bag yesterday, and I'll probably have to find another person or two to give some to, because this is more lettuce than we're going to need. Now my other spot, I got lettuce already started, so as I harvest this will go 2 weeks, and those other lettuces will be ready at that time. Anyways, I'm going to go through and get all this harvested, and I'll come back. Now that the lettuce has been harvested, I did weigh that out. It came out to about 10 pounds of lettuce, which is a lot for us, but we'll get some away and use it over the next 2 weeks. For peppers, we've got California Wonder, Sunbright, which is another yellow bell. They have orange lunchbox, paprika, and an Italian pepper. And my friend I gave the lettuce to yesterday gave me some Melrose to try out. So I already put those in yesterday. They're on the other side of the peas here. So putting them, each plant's going to be about 1 foot apart. What doesn't fit here before the peas will be on the other side of it. Once the peas are done, I will put 1 sowing of green beans in that same spot. Peppers have all been planted. Now some of these are starting to flower, so it won't be long before we'll actually get some peppers off of these. And you can see over here, these are the lunchbox. And these are paprika. And these little ones here, those are the Melrose my friend gave me. I still have to pull that big lettuce out too. Alright, we'll go on to the next thing. This is the second planting of tomatoes. These are the fresh salsa. I'm doing the Florida weave on these, as you can see, with the string there. And in the back I had a couple extra, so there's one fresh salsa and one summer pick over there. In the back area of this bed I planted popcorn. There's 7 rows of popcorn, and between each of these rows will be sweet potatoes. And once the corn gets, I don't know, say 6 or 8 inches high, I'm actually going to plant pinto beans on each side of the corn, and then they can use the corn as like a trellis. Pinto beans, they all dry out to the end. Popcorn dries out to the very end of the season. And sweet potatoes, you don't harvest until the very end. So the 3 of them together, they can, once planted, they can just sit there, get all the way mature, and then I'll harvest them all at one time. Now that I got the popcorn seeds planted, I went through and added the sweet potato slips I grew from those little mini tubers in between each row. So I think I ended up planting roughly about 50 sweet potato plants, give or take a little bit. Never grew them in the ground before. I've only grown them in buckets, so we'll see how that works out. I am going to still do buckets, and we'll be able to see how the harvest compares between the in-ground and the buckets. Now that it's getting warmer outside, I removed the Agribon 15 off the broccoli bed, and I replaced it with this insect screen instead. The insect screen will allow more water to get through, more airflow, and I'm hoping it'll be more durable because the Agribon 15 was beginning to tear on the bottoms where I had the spring clamps at. Another bonus for the insect screen is that with it being see-through, I can actually look at the plants and see how they're doing without having to open up the cover to look at them. That's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Click the like button if you liked the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you on the next one.